Hey BBYO, I'm Blake Yosowitz from Mountain Region, and today I'm honored to be joined by Josh Balser, an AZA alumni, a global humanitarian leader, and our AZA Alumni of the Year honoree. From his time in BBYO as a teen to leading disaster response efforts around the world today, his journey serves as a powerful example of service, leadership, and impact. Josh, welcome and congratulations.
Thanks so much for having me.
So starting off, let's start from the beginning. How did your time in AZA and BBYO shape the person and leader you are today?
I think, it was being part of a community that really, I felt welcome in and got to create and give something back into. You get so many opportunities in BBYO within AZA to take on new positions of leadership or responsibility. And I think that has carried forward into my professional life, into college and so on. And I don't think I would be in the same position had it not been for AZA.
100%. Is there like a specific moment in BBYO?
Well, I just shared it there. It's really the small things. Like my chapter used to go to play trivia once a month in like a local sports bar in Atlanta. And that memory sticks with me so much. I mean, little planning went into it, but someone's got to show up and do it every single month and get together. Those things mean a lot more to me now than any sort of like one individual standout moment.
I got you. Yeah, that's really cool. So after college, you chose to volunteer in Honduras. What pushed you to take that leap, and how did it impact the direction of your life?
That was transformative for me. I mean, so many things clicked in that moment to just land in Honduras. It started with a casual conversation on a street corner in DC that landed me in the place I did in Honduras. But the short answer is I really wanted to go abroad. I really wanted to travel. And then I ended up staying there for 2 years, working at a bilingual school, trying to get into the international development field. When I was coming up, every job wanted 2 years of work experience, and I was coming straight out of college. So I needed to get that in some way. I don't think I realized at the moment that it would be such a transformational time in my life of experiencing life that I had never done before.
Yeah. Was there like any like close second countries other than Honduras that you almost went to study abroad?
I spoke Spanish, so I wanted to go to Latin America. Mm-hmm. I was really looking for an opportunity where I wasn't going to end up spending all of my savings to get there and not get paid. And so this was a sort of a nice balance between the two. Of course, like life is about practicalities at some point. But no, there was never, once I found that program, there was never any question.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you've worked in crisis zones around the world, and in moments of intense pressure, what helps you stay grounded in how do you solve problems when just everything is so chaotic around you?
I think you just have to get started doing something. One of these sort of older guys that I worked for, a mentor, we were in South Sudan, we were giving out shelter equipment. And you're trying to give out thousands and thousands of shelter equipment, and it can be a very daunting task. And he basically like threw a bunch of stuff in the back of the Land Rover and was like, we're going to go give these out. Like just one. You just have to get going in one thing. And so I sort of remember that every time I'm in these situations, you're staring up at the bottom of this mountain. You feel like you have to climb it. You just have to do one thing, like one step in front of the other. And then the other thing I would say is you have to be able to laugh at yourself. Mm-hmm. Like in these very serious situations, it's, there is still life, there is still comedy, there is still sort of love around, and you have to take some time to remember those moments.
Was there like a time that you felt like the most stressed and you thought you weren't going to be able to get anything done?
Like all the time. There's definitely a moment. And I was living in Liberia in 2014 to 2016 during the Ebola epidemic, and we had gotten over the first hump. So there were no cases in the country. We were all super excited about this. And I remember the Minister of Health calling up and being like, we have a suspected case, and just totally collapsing on the couch. Like being like, I thought we beat this thing, and now you're back to square one, essentially. But yeah, false alarm, thank God. Yeah. But yeah, there are those moments.
So what keeps you just motivated and emotionally connected to your work, even on your most difficult of days? When you think about the impact you're making, like what gives you that greatest sense of like purpose or fulfillment?
It's really, for me, these personal interactions. I think a lot of people kind of think about this work or approach this work as like you're giving charity.
Yeah.
And that is very much like I'm the giver, you are the receiver. And in reality, people are agents of their own recovery in any sort of crisis. And so these very personal individual moments are what keep you going. You learn about individuals and how they came into this particular situation and their own journey in terms of walking out of that themselves. So all these organizations that I've worked for, we employ local staff. We're working directly with the people affected by crisis. And I think in those very, very small moments, there's just a tremendous power of motivation to keep going forward. It's not so much about the numbers at the end of the day. It's about an individual life.
100%. So what does being named AZA Alumni of the Year mean to you?
It's an incredible honor. It's funny as well. Like my last interaction with BBYO was in 2006. IC was maybe 500 people at a camp in North Georgia. So to come back and see how big it's gotten, I can't help but laugh at that a little bit and just sort of unrecognizable. But then watching some of the traditions, seeing everyone hanging out in the hallway, it really brings me back to how formative BBYO was in my teenage years and how some of my best friends, people I still talk to, are from my time in BBYO. So it feels really great to be welcomed back, sort of invited back in that way, and then recognized for this career that I've had that I don't think would exist if it weren't for BBYO.
Yeah. So lastly, for BBYO teens who want to make a difference in the world but don't know how to get started, what's your final piece of advice for them?
I'll go back to something I said earlier, like just do one thing. Just take one step forward. And, the best place to start is in your own community, something where you know a lot about it, you know the people. You can do a lot in a very small place. It doesn't have to be, on the other side of the planet.
Yeah. So, Josh, thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations again on being named AZA Alumni of the Year. Your commitment to global responsibility is truly inspiring, and we are so proud to celebrate you today. Thank you for watching BBYO.